Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of our Final Fantasy 13 Let's Play. Continuing with our attempt for 100%, we're going to keep going with some more of the hunts on Grand Pulse. We just managed to 5-star our first one, and now we're looking at number 2, and we're just going to super speed our way over to where the fight is. And unfortunately, this is one of the map's biggest downfalls, is that the map direction tracks where your character is facing. So whenever you turn, the entire map's perspective turns with it. And it can just be very disorientating trying to find your way around. But we are just looking for that lovely little red star. And so we're backing up, and you see I've turned around, so now the entire map is all turned over. Oh, anyway. That's why I didn't want to just cut straight there, because people can get lost. But also I didn't want you to just watch me chugging along slowly. But here's the mission. And first off, we need to be flexible with our team composition, because this is what happens. I kind of think to myself, okay, no, it's just a bunch of the dogs. They're like weak staggers. But then I go, oh, actually, I need to kind of, you know, defend and debuff, and game over.
And so it ends.
So what I would suggest is getting a sentinel in. They are strong, but they only attack, you know, one target, and we might as well give that target a lot of HP and let them be able to defend. So adjusting around our paradigms a tiny bit, we have a couple of different options here, but the main thing is that we're going to want Sentinel and Saboteur, and Sentinel and Ravager. So we're going to start off, and this is what's really funny. Since Vanille has all the Ga debuffs, so she's actually hitting every single enemy with D-Shell, which means when I'm starting to do AoE staggers and like hitting them with Blizzagas and stuff, they're also getting hit, and their stagger is being maintained by the Imperil Gas, the D-Shell Gas, the Protect Gas, and things like that. And we can actually just KO the wolves normally as just a Ravager, and we're actually getting multiple staggers across multiple different wolves. But now we need to just kind of hop back briefly to Combat Clinic just to top up Snow. And while I could have just done, you know, Medic, Ravager, Sentinel, it just is quicker just to deal with that quickly. And now that we are into Commando and they all have D-Shell, we can just tidy up these other few stragglers and then focus down the main wolf. Because the only strength they really had was in numbers, and since we're able to mitigate a lot of the other damage by having a Sentinel just tank all their little hits, we were able to take them out quite easily. Now, obviously, if we had just gone a little bit more aggressive with Ravager on Snow or Ravager on Lightning even, we might have gotten 5-star, because obviously another big element is the damage per second. The more you can bump that up, the more likely you are to 5-star. But we won that mission, and now another Cieth Stone is active. So what is kind of nice is that, at least for the early ones, you go from 1, number 2 activates beside where 1's mark was, number 3 activates near where mark 2's mark was. So they do kind of blend and lead into one another quite handily. There was just a little fight here by a treasure chest, and it's just a handy one to preemptive. And like that, even though we're not quite in the right paradigm, we can still do loads of damage with these guys. And if you have it on aggression, what Snow will do is Snow will attack the other ones, so you're actually dividing and conquering, because 2 commandos won't attack the same target. That's good.
Target's a target.
And now that we're attacking this one, Snow's going to go for someone else.
Nothing personal.
And we're down to our final one. And unfortunately the stagger didn't last, but that's okay. We've managed to juggle him in the air though, that's quite funny. Like, because normally they don't stay in the air once you don't have launch, or you don't actually keep them launched. But we've managed to just time our attacks perfectly to keep him juggled in the air, which is quite cool. But like that 3,000 for that little group, and if you're able to preempt them, it's super quick and easy, and it'll only get quicker the more times you obviously go through and beat them. Your stats are going to get better, and so you can defeat them quicker, and 3,000 is nothing to sniff at, you know? But heading back towards where we started our journey, this is where you can kind of just run straight along. Now, we do some Crystarium work here, but you can sort of just run straight along to the orange dot and continue the story. But like, the game has finally opened up a bit and given us lots of different areas to explore, so I just want to like let you guys see that. And we have plenty of like levels to get. We're nowhere near, you know, capping out on our Crystarium anytime soon, so the more fights we get in, the better stats we'll have going forward. And I should have mentioned this earlier, but obviously last episode Hope got his Eidolon, so the only character to not have an Eidolon and actually will have the least amount of ATB until she gets her Eidolon is Vanille. She only has 4 ATBs thanks to her medic role giving her an extra one. But we will have Vanille's Eidolon soon, and that battle is one to look out for. It's going to be really cool. But at that point, really the characters ATB gauge wise are fairly sorted. The only other way you can get an extra ATB is by crafting their ultimate weapons, which of course we will do, but all in good time. Interesting little ship or monster, not quite sure, but you can obviously save up over here. This is where we started in Grand Pulse, our little campsite area. Yeah, the marks are fun. I just end up kind of hopping along and showing you that, like, yeah, you got like these different bomb ashes. You're able to, you know, use those for pretty good experiences in terms of weapon leveling. The Belladonna wand takes a lot. It doesn't kind of level up relatively quickly, like taking thousands and thousands to level, but like it's well worth just getting those few extra bits of magic strength on her weapon. So we just have to run up this corridor again back to where we found Hope. And once that's done, we can get to a brand new area of Pulse and find our mark. So there really is an awful lot of traipsing around Grand Pulse. As much as you're like, yay, there's freedom, the map does just take a long while to traipse through. But it does offer a solution, which we will have later this episode, but certain Cieth stones act as waypoints. So we're able to basically teleport between them, which is great. So once we have kind of a fuller network of waypoints, we'll be able just to hop, skip and jump between vast amounts of distances. So it won't be as laborious as it is now, just traipsing up and down these different areas. And obviously I'm cutting out 3-4 minutes of time on each of these battles, so like if you're playing normally and you're just like, oh my god, I'm getting in all these battles, I'm just, you know, finding it super laborious, it is going to be laborious, but it doesn't mean that it isn't worth it once you get all these different rewards, because you're getting like weapon and item upgrade synthesis, you're getting really, really powerful accessories in some cases. So do not pass up the opportunity to explore more of the area, fight different cool boss fights, encounters. And one particular one, I will try and get it before I move on to chapter 12, but there's an infamous hunt that does leave you with what's the accessory that's known as the growth egg, and that growth egg basically allows for 2 times crystal points earned by the party, which obviously when we're trying to level up and max out all our characters' paradigms and get the max stats possible, we are going to need to grind an awful lot of crystalgen points to make that happen. So just turning up this corridor here, going beyond where the cutscene led us through. We managed to skip one battle, but there was no skipping this one, I'm afraid. Handy I'll fight like the slugs always are, but when we manage to make it through to here, we get a brand new section of pulse. So, up into the Suburban Highlands. Probably butchered that, but that's okay. And looking on the map here, we're like, where is this silly little star? But what you'll see there is this orange Cieth Stone. That's actually a waypoint Cieth Stone. So you go to that Cieth Stone, fight it, beat its enemy, and then you can teleport to other waypoint Cieth Stones that you've unlocked. Now, of course, the one downside is with the first one, it's like, do you want to teleport to here? Because this is the only one you've unlocked. But you can unlock one by your base camp, you can unlock one in like all the different areas of Pulse. So it does just make getting around, at least to those particular areas, an awful lot quicker. But here is our mark. The big wolf itself. And thankfully it just doesn't know how to run around logs, it seems. What actually is probably better is having Hope on to basically give just that bit more DPS in terms of damage, as well as putting up Veil, because this guy loves to spam debuffs. So as much as it would be nice to debuff him with Vanille, we are going to have to just grit our teeth and try and stagger and launch lock him into submission. We are just going to try our best and just attack and generate that stagger gauge and get a gauge on how much damage does this guy particularly do. He does have a weakness to ice, so we're already getting damage up into like the 2000s, which isn't bad. But as you can see there, we're now already getting like vigilance debuff and poison debuff, so let's just top ourselves up here.
Thanks.
And then once we get to full again, we're just gonna try and debuff with Esuna. Bam bam, all clear, and now let's continue with our attack. And since I have the frost imbued weapon, that's pretty good. And since Snow had Veil, he didn't end up with loads of different status effects, which is really good. And we're just gonna stagger him here and try and build it up a little bit more, because with Hope having Aurora, he's able to kind of mini launch him with the arrow spell, which is deadly. And now it is literally just wiping him out with DPS. He doesn't have the highest defenses, so it was just surviving his high attack and debuff generation. 3 stars, not the best. But we get a platinum bangle and a new rank for our Cieth Stone defeating. And again, the game's like, here, thank you for coming all the way to here. Next to the mark is another Cieth Stone, and then it's saying that you can use these waystones to teleport between waystones you've unlocked. You just have to defeat the mark related to them. So where is this one? It's not too far away. It is just down that little area, and we'll just fast forward run just so you guys can see it. But yeah, we just drop down here, ski-daddle over this, run around this corner, and there's actually, I kind of pause around here because I end up hearing a treasure chest, and you'll see where I get it, so do not fret. But the treasure chest is out here, and there's like a enemy that just is lingering over this treasure chest and will fly over and attack, but it is nothing that we cannot handle. And with flying enemies, it's actually nearly easier for Lightning just to use Ruin, because with her attacks in the air and these flying enemies moving so much, she can often miss an awful lot of attacks, whereas Rune won't miss, and now that she has in Frost, it'll just do extra damage. And once we kind of get a good amount of our buffs on, we're going to go
Time for another approach.
into here just to top up Snow.
Thanks.
And now that he's topped up, we're going to fire off all our magics. Now, nothing really more to say about him. He just likes to throw out like special attacks that can literally destroy our buffs. But now that he's staggered, we just flurry of ruin, and this guy is easily dealt with. And the prize he kept locked away in the treasure chest was well worth defeating him to get. So it doesn't matter about 5 stars, we get to get 2 mineral lights. Oh no, that's a different treasure chest. We get a rune bracelet. It's still very good, but spoiler for the mark. The mark also has a big treasure chest, and that gives us really good rewards as well. So we've that to look forward to. And it was, yeah, over here where I heard a treasure chest, but like on rewatching, I can now see where the treasure chest was, and I feel like a silly goose. But yeah, just a bit up from the save point there is where our mark is, and I was like, I can hear treasure chest, where is treasure chest? But of course, with me editing now, I'm looking back and I'm seeing, oh sure, I could see it in the camera, I just wasn't paying that much attention. But yeah, up and up we go. There it is. And hopping back down, we're going to continue on to our next mark. And with this, we end up fighting a bunch of these. And you might be thinking, why is there no wolf? We had an image of a wolf. And with that, preemptives work great with the Sentinel, because if they're able to pull everybody, they get everybody into that wonderful stagger, I suppose. Sorry for that mind fart. You're going to want to keep your attackers in the air as often as possible, because they have very high tier spells and high resistance to magic, so unfortunately, unless you get rid of all of them while they're staggered, you're not going to get through them all. Case in point, this little guy and the other guy over there, and one is starting to summon. And with that, our actual mark appears. And this is the annoying part where Hope's non-defense maintenance is starting to show, with Hope not being able to keep up with the volley of assaults and all of his buffs wearing off on everybody except lightning and snow. We need to get Hope back up and working. Come on, buddy. Once we're all topped back up, we can just get rid of that vigilance problem, which Hope did. Good man. And then we're gonna quickly hop over and try and let Hope set up some shells, because we desperately need them. They're throwing out like all the gas wells and they're just throwing us up in the air. They're disrupting all of our combos. It's not great. And now we're poisoned again. Wonderful.
Thank you.
We have Veil though now, so no other debuffs should come on now soon. Oh god, come on. Yeah, not having a single, like, you know, offensive with one medic is really killing me now. Good job, Lightning. And let's just hop back to this again. Just till we KO these little penguin dudes. Still getting bloody status. Come on. Let's just wipe these guys out. Thankfully with Shell I didn't do too much damage. But yeah, those penguin guys are annoying. And we just have this big wolfy boy to contend with as well.
Keep a cool head. Thanks.
Now we have to heal up everybody. By everybody I mean Snow. He now doesn't need anyone else to help him, so over the Mystic Tower we're gonna just blast this dog with all the magics we have. And then with Snow on Sentinel, he's barely taking any damage because he has Mediguard, so he's healing as he's guarding, which is fabulous. And now we're going to hop over to Aggression and just turn all that raw powers of the commandos into this creature, winning the fight. And with that fight done, that's going to be our episode for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next time.
Make my wish come true, let darkness slip aside, hiding all the hope, marking what we treasure, battles we can win if we